previous subject in ABM 21. Remember that in economies of scope, that is where the business can reduce its unit cost per product as it increases its volume of production. Mas mo barato ang usa ka product, mas mo gamay ang gastos sa usa ka product, o mas mo barato ang usa ka product if mas daghan ta og i-produce. That is the concept of economies of scale. We reduce the cost per unit of a particular product as we increase the volume of production. For what reason? Because the total fixed cost will now be distributed to many units. Nana, good? Take this example para mas sayon masabtan. Try to consider ang pagsakay og multicab. Sakay og multicab, Muswan to Valencia. Katong wala pa, dili pa new normal, katong normal pa, pilang plipi? 10 pesos. Diba? Mas barato. Karon nga, nanay social distancing sa multicab, limited na, gi-reduce into 50% lang ang pwede makasakay. So, what happened to the fare sa plipi? Diba, na-double na himong 20 pesos. So, ang nahitabo, mas dako ang bayaran kay ang cost sa pagbiyahe padulong sa Valencia or Valencia to Muswan is na-divide lang sa fewer number of passenger. So muna nga, dako ang bayaran kada isa. Whereas, if mas daghan ang magsakay, kung puno ang magsakay, ang cost sa gasolina mas ma-divide into daghan. So, mas cheaper ang plitihan kada isa. Kana lang nga analogy. That is the concept of economies of scope. So in economies of scope, that is in manufacturing or in production, that we reduce the unit cost, which leads to a cheaper price as we increase the volume of production. So karon, kay lesser ang production of biofertilizer, so the cost will be distributed to fewer items or to fewer volume of production, which leads to higher cost per product, and then patungan og markup, so it leads to higher price. So samot nga wala ka ayoy patronize with biofertilizer. So that is a sad reality. Along the way, mapangitaan og solusyon sa gobyerno, and also matagaan og solusyon with NGOs and private companies. The key players in organic fertilizer industry are, so listed here in your screen, familiar sa inyo rin, siguro kining Philfoods or Philippine Phosphate Fertilizer Corporation. Okay. Atlas, this is also familiar. So processed organic fertilizers are composed of mixtures of animal manure, agricultural waste, mud press, and limestone. So I don't know if you have heard about bokashi. Okay, bokashi, that is an organic fertilizer. I think that is a combination of mud press and limestone, if I'm not mistaken, if I remember it right. Some of largest manufacturers are sila listed in your, or flash in your screen. So if you can, if we're going to look into the distribution channel of fertilizer in the Philippines, both for domestic production and importation, we can see here a very long chain, of the flow of our fertilizer product. So if you can see, like this one, for importers going to the company warehouse, and from the company warehouse it will go into the distributors, and the distributors will provide it to some plantation or large accounts, large companies or cooperatives, and distributors will distribute fertilizers to dealers, and dealers will distribute it to farmers. And remember that in every stage, like here in the distributor, in the dealer, before it reach to the farmer, remember that each stage will add markup. So the markup, tubo, patong, which leads to the cost of fertilizer to increase as it reaches the farmer's level. So yun ana. So much better unta nga if we can shorten the supply chain of fertilizer somehow mabarato or maubos-ubusan ang presyo sa fertilizer. Then isa lang po nga problema manggod nganong mahal ang fertilizer in the Philippines, and it's because consider our geographical situation. Diba? If importation maabot siya sa Manila and then distributed to the different provinces, gasto in transportation, ipasakay na pud dayon nimong barko, and then from the port sa Pantalan, ibiyahin na pod padulong Bukidnon and some other areas. Ang uban pa gyud is dili pa maayong dalan. And because of those factors, it will lead to to fertilizers which are costly or with higher cost. Okay, let's proceed with the third common input in crop production. We have the crop protection products. So crop protection products include insecticides, fungicides, herbicides, molluscicide, and nematicides. So kanang mga bulak sa inyong mama, unya kung gi-atake na siya og kanang mga snails, so somehow you can use this molluscicides. So mga kuhol. The crop protection mechanism in 1960s are insecticide-based control where it applies calendar-based spraying. But even no, sad reality for plantation farms like pineapple plantation still what they are using is insecticide-based control, naka-calendar gihapon. So excessive gihapon ang gamit sa chemicals sa like pineapple farm, pineapple production. So medyo dili gyapon kay siya okay because they are insecticide based. They are using calendar as scheduling in spraying. So and then even now karon na even at this time and it evolved to integrated pest management in 1990s up to present. So with your crop protection subject, so I assume that you're already familiar with integrated pest management. So kamo daw be, unsa man yung madumduman with integrated pest management? Unsa man ni siya? Unsa ni siya nga concept? Anyone? Ang makatubag, gwapo, gwapa. Oh, may nitubag, so ay gwapo. May gwapa. So basically, this integrated pest management is the combination of various methods in controlling pests. Okay, so combination of various inputs, meaning in integrated pest management, there is integration of more than one method of controlling pests. Before manggod, farms rely only with chemical method of controlling pests. Grabe ka excessive ang application sa insecticide and so on and so forth. So because inana, then people have realized its negative impact in the environment, negative impact to the soil, to the food itself that is being produced nga ginakaon sa tao nga dili maayo sa health. So this integrated pest management was introduced, diba? There are several methods on how to control pests. Like we can use physical, manual, ikaw mismo nga gamit kag mga net, manual nga pag-control sa pest, imong gidakop ang ilaga, that is manual. You can also use unsa pa? manual na natay physical or manual method, napoy mechanical if you use machine in controlling pest sa imong production. Pwede pod biological control by using other living organisms in controlling pests. One example that I can cite with this is, have you heard about Trichogramma evanescens? Trichogramma evanescens. Dili tong evanescence nga, bring me to life. Dili to mao ha. Trichogramma evanescens. So, this Trichogramma evanescens is, I think it's a, if I'm not mistaken, if I remember it right, it's a fungi that is a fungi that is being uh, used to control some insects. I don't know if it is designed for stem borer. Ginagamit siya in some vegetables, in corn and in rice. Try to read further about Trichogramma evanescens and some other biological ways or methods in controlling pests. But pwede na siya na naka ng mga magbuhi or magpadaghan sa imong farm og mga beneficial nga mga insects. Beneficial nga mga insects to control those detrimental insects. That is biological control. Okay. So the industry is dominated by foreign brands which are sold by either subsidiaries or multinational or agents. So this is very true that like in fertilizer supply in the country, most of the crop protection products are produced outside the country. They are being imported and they are just being distributed by its subsidiaries. For example, uh, isang example, isang company. For example, Monsanto Philippines, they have the glyphosate, a herbicide that they produce, wherein in the Philippines its distributor is the Sinochem company. Then crop protection products are regulated by Fertilizer and Pesticides Authority. So basically, for crop protection products that doesn't pass on the standards set safety and effectiveness standard of the Fertilizer and Pesticide Authority here in our country, basically they will not be commercialized because this FPA is the regulatory or the regulation body of our country in terms of the control and management of the reproduction and commercialization of fertilizer and pesticides in the country, of course, to ensure the safety of the farmers, of the consumers, and of the environment. So the following are the crops that are major users of crop protection products: rice, Cavendish banana, mango, vegetable, corn. And okay, the use of crop protection products must be calibrated due to increasing concern regarding with the effects of farm chemicals on the environment, particularly on the soils and on the waterway. So as I've mentioned in the previous slide, that this crop protection products, before they are being commercialized, they underwent with several levels of field trials. Field trials to really calibrate on what is the recommended rate or the recommended amount of application of those crop protection products to ensure nga dili sobra, dili pud kulang. Remember nga kung kulang, it can affect the effectiveness of the crop protection products. Ug masubra pod basin og harmful siya sa makakaon sa crops or sa bunga, or it can also be harmful sa mga nag-spray, or it can be harmful also to the soil and to the environment. Then the introduction of IPM or Integrated Pest Management lessens the excessive use of farm chemicals by using biological control or by using beneficial insects. And IPM is also cost effective as risk of overall production. Okay. So according to Crop Protection Association of the Philippines in 2019, that the key players in crop protection product industry, which are members of their association, include these companies listed in your screen. Okay, I believe that some of them are familiar to you. So for me, which are familiar here, this one, Jokanima Corporation. Agway is also familiar. Agchem, Biostat is also familiar. And all these key players. So classification of crops, I believe you already know this. The annual crops and the perennial crops. Annual crops, which can be harvested within the year. Perennial crops can be harvested uh, more than a year. So basically, these crop protection products are being used to address problems to your to your crops, like this one for those who are engaged in corn production. So basically, one of the problem that they are facing is this irat. No? Malata na daan ang kanang sa ibabaw sa imong mais. And somehow this crop protection product is designed to help solve this problem. Another problem is the bacterial stalk rot nga malata ang kini iyang stem, and then kay ma, ma malata ang stem tungod sa bacteria, then magluya, di, mamatay, tumba, marufok, ganon. So di lang day kamo kita ang marupok, apil po dayo say ang ang corn og maigo og bacteria. Leaf blight, ba? Like this one. There are blights in the leaves wherein it can affect photosynthesis, it can affect the growth. So I expect na dako ato ang mais ani dahil mga blights. So we have crop protection products like Roundup. Roundup is produced by Monsanto, which is now being distributed by Sinochem. This is the one that I made mention to you earlier. So this is being calibrated. Before it was introduced in the market, it was calibrated. It was uh, accredited, tested by the Food and Fertilizer and Pesticides Authority. Then after the proper calibration, then it was available in the market. It was being commercialized. Okay. There are also uh, seeds like this one, corn seeds, which are already bago siya ba? And this is not a new variety, but there are varieties which are being made to make it sa tawag ani, resistant to several pests like this one. This they called corn seed is designed na Roundup ready siya. Di siya maapektuhan with the weeds. Di kaya siya maano with corn borer. Di po siya makuan with cutworm. So corn seeds like this is designed na resistant siya to some pest para dili na pod siya inana ka excessive yung need for crop protection product as it grows older. ng imong crops. Okay, like again, different features. I'm not advertising brands here. I'm just citing examples. But anyways, I happen also to work with DeKalb in Monsanto Philippines before. So that is the reason why uh, I am using this as an example or an illustration of the topic that we have. Number four, most common input in crop production, we have farm machineries and equipment. So mechanization is deemed to be one of the solutions in bringing competitiveness in agricultural products because it can make the operation more faster with the use of mechanization. Try to compare plowing a land, 10 hectares land by a draft animal. Kabaw lang, mudaro, comes amahuman. But whereas if you're going to use tractor, harrower, then 1 day, 2 days, tapos. So it can make or it can bring so much competitiveness in agricultural production. This farm machineries and equipments. So Asian neighbors started mechanization programs in 1960s, while Philippines started only in 2010. Try to imagine how behind we are in terms of farm mechanization, and this is very obvious. Even siguro kamo, you can adhere to this in your own area as a tanga bukid karon. So we are really left behind in terms of mechanization. But I think na nowadays nakakita na mo og mga bag-o nga mga machineries nga makatabang sa ato mga farmers, like we we already have mechanical uh, rice planter or mechanical rice transplanter. Na napud tay mga mechanical dryer, natay mga mechanical harvester. Yes, nag-exist na ni sila nga machines karon in our country. But the problem is that not everyone can access those machines. Yes, they are available, but not everyone, not all farmers can use it. Because, 'di ba? Average farm size 1.29 hectares, ang uban 0.5 ra. Unya og mo gamit sila ato nga mga machines basig dako pa ilang bayad sa renta kaysa ilahang abot. So it is not practical. So also another reason is that considering the geographical area or the location of farms in the Philippines, di ba, lisod ang dalan, bukid kaayo, then dili makaagi ang mga machines. So dili ka take advantage si farmer. So yun ana, and then I believe nga siguro karon nga time kung dito sa mga patag na area, siguro I don't know the rate, pero siguro mahal-mahal pa pud ang rate if moabang or mo-avail ani nga mga machineries. So munang dili pa gyud tanan ang gaka-benefit with the mechanization in Philippine farming. So of course, because we are delayed compared to the other neighboring countries. So sad gyapon siya nga fact nga. But then we're still hoping nga we can cope, diba? Better late than never. And agricultural machineries and equipment in the Philippines are sourced out from local production and importation. So local manufacturers produces small items like power tillers, hand tractors. So nakatry na ta aning hand tractors, no? Palay threshers, askers, sheller, corn sheller, harvester, pumps, and disc plows. Siguro in your other subject nakatry na po mo gamit aning hand tractors. Lingaw ba yan ni siya buhaton or i-operate like this one. Like this one, this is a mechanical transplanter for rice. Kinsa ni nga artista. A turtle of land. This is conventional. So, ano po yung artista dere, oh. Nagdaro. Nagdaro or mao ni ang kabaw. We have the mechanical harvester, mas paspas, may galingan, may sheller, may turtle para sa land preparation, tractor also for land preparation. So I hope nga mas mo-improve pa unta ang mechanization in the Philippine agriculture. Of course, to increase competitiveness para mas paspas ang operation, dili na langay, and mas efficient ang atong production. Okay. So the following are some of the other machines, equipment used in the farming. Tractors. We have wheel tractors, hand tractors. For land reclamation development, katong mga aya pagid siya i-develop. So mga dako-dako ni siya kanang mga kasagbutan nga wala pag gibitaw na utilize for agricultural purposes. We have rotary shredders, shred ang mga sagbot and dagko nga mga vegetations. There are also brush cutters. For primary tillage, we have subsoilers, moldboard plows para first nga lawom nga pag-cultivate. Then secondary tillage, most likely its purpose is to pulverize the soil. This is being done after primary tillage. We also have these harrows, mga bed formers. Bed formers like in pineapple production, beds are being formed before planting and for agricultural hand tool. The sowing and planting, conventional and pneumatic seed drills, precision planters, or transplanters, katong pictures nga akong gi-show sa inyo earlier. We have the sugarcane planters, hand seeder. We have for chemical sprayer, we have knapsack sprayer, kanang ana. Then boom spray, if I don't know if nakakita mo na sa pineapple plantation, kanang duha ka siya wings. Tapos diha na rin siya spray. This is a boom spray. Drone spray, I think ginagamit din siya sa saging sa banana plantation. Uban kay for grain harvesting, we have rice harvesters and maize pickers. So kanindot kayo no if tanan lang gid farmers maka-access, maka-avail ani nga mga mechanization ta. Hoping and praying para sa sustainable food supply. So local importers or distributors include the following. So these are some of the manufacturer of farm machineries and equipments. Wala lagi diri Hitachi. Familiar mo Hitachi? Company gyapon ni Hitachi. Okay. Kabalo mo sa meaning sa Hitachi, masig na mo yung mga classmates or mga friends nga Hitachi. Hilabtanon, tabian, chismosa. Kana na siya ha. Intermission. Smile pud mo diha balag 1 hour and 24 minutes na ta. I hope na pagyapon mo hawa pa mo ni buhi kay sakit kay nang buhian ta. So hold on. Stay strong. Ganon. Okay, let's proceed. Number 5, commonly used input in agricultural productions, we have the irrigation and drainage. So irrigation is the process of providing land with water other than rain to improve crop production. So equipment and infrastructures like irrigation canals, pumps, sprinklers are utilized to facilitate such activity. So I know that you are already familiar with irrigations, and there are different types of irrigations that are being used just to supply water for our crops. Okay. This one is an irrigation. This is a runoff type of irrigation. That is a runoff type of irrigation. Okay, this one, this is a sprinkler. Uban po na po sa sagingan, drip irrigation. Din siya